Please be seated. General Azubuike will now present yellow roses to her Aunt Clara, Aunt Adije, and Sister Fiona for their unwavering support and commitment. Ladies and gentlemen, we present to you the newest General Officer in the United States Army, Brigadier General Amanda I. Azubuike.
Thank you all for being here to celebrate this day with me. It's not lost on me that it's Halloween, and most of you probably have plans that you could be working on right now. But it means a lot that you chose to be here with me. I have so many things to be grateful for, so many people to thank, and I want to start by thanking everyone who made this ceremony a classy event. First, thank you for the team here at the Patton Museum, specifically Mr. Reed and Ms. Owens, for allowing me to conduct my ceremony here and for all the support you provided. It's the perfect venue. I'm pretty sure some of the Hueys I flew back in the day should have been in a museum back then instead of on the flight line. Thank you to the Executive Services team, Mick, the PAO team, the soldiers, NCOs, officers from HHD, Chaplain June, Mrs. Taylor, Trujillo, Huron for that amazing rendition of the national anthem. Can we please give them all another round of applause? I want to first thank General Rainey for officiating my ceremony. Thank you so much, sir. Really appreciate it. Thank you for coming all the way here to do this for me. Thank you for being a great leader to me, but also for the Army. Obviously, I work for you at 3rd ID. Thank you so much for not firing me. When we were both stationed at the Pentagon, he always made time for me, even though he was one of the busiest officers in the Pentagon, had one of the biggest jobs, the busiest jobs in the Army G357. Thank you for always taking the time. You may not remember, but you were so kind to my mom. I took my mom to the 3rd ID military ball, and as people say, you don't always remember what people say to you, but you remember how they made you feel. And I remember how you made my mom feel. You made her feel special. And I'll never forget that. So thank you, and thank you, Tracy, for coming as well. I also want to thank some other special guests here. Obviously, General Manera, current CG, and also my fellow Army War College classmate. Major General Knox Limbacher, thank you for coming. Flight school classmate. Major General Davis, thank you for being here. Brigadier General Davis and Vernon, a fellow Arkansan. Brigadier General Cushing, another Army War College classmate, and Marla, his wife. Brigadier General Retired Iacocca, thank you for always being so supportive. And to all the senior leaders, sergeants major, colleagues, and service members for being here. I really appreciate you all coming on to celebrate this day with me. So as General Rainey said, both my parents passed away within the last 6 years. This would have been a very proud day for them. But I want to acknowledge my family members who were able to come and travel and be here with me today. My sister Fiona, more like the hurricane, less like the princess. my auntie Clara, who traveled from London, but is actually from Zimbabwe, and her daughter Charity, my cousin, also traveled with her. My auntie Adije, who lives in Enugu, Nigeria, but is visiting her son Cheta, my cousin, and brought her granddaughter. And then my cousins, Munatsi and Miranda, who traveled as well. Thank you all for coming. I also have friends and colleagues who traveled here from out of town. Thank you all for coming and sharing in this day with me. I said this before, but you can learn a lot about someone by their journey. So today I'm going to share a little bit about my journey and how I got here, because I really never would have thought I would be here today. I believe my journey is a true testament to my family, my faith in God, and also this great country that we live in. I think it's what my mother dreamt of when she left and decided to immigrate to this country all those years ago. I think you can tell if you met any of my family members that we are very proud of our African heritage. And I think that it's that heritage, that foundation, that journey that has got me here today. It all starts with my last name, Azubuike, a very common name in Nigeria, much like Smith or Johnson. It is from the Igbo tribe. And translated, it means the past is your strength, your back is your strength, experience is the best teacher. And to be clear, my name is Nigerian because my dad is from Nigeria and was born and raised there, but my mom was born in Zimbabwe. I am of a mixed African heritage. So on occasion, I will joke and say, I am truly an African American. So my parents both left their respective countries at a young age to pursue their degrees in London. My mom, a nursing degree, my dad, a law degree. They met in London, married, and my sister and I were born there. They later divorced, and my mom decided to move to the US in search of better opportunities. My mom was extremely strong, independent, and a great role model for my sister and I. The best role model I've ever had. And education was emphasized from a very young age. I would describe my mom as an African version of a tiger mom. My mom truly believed that we could accomplish anything, do anything, and be anything if we worked hard. So I was not a US citizen when I graduated from high school. I still had a year to go before I was eligible for my citizenship, and I needed to find a way to pay for college. My introduction to the Army, or my introduction to the military, was Air Force Junior ROTC in high school. But there was a freeze on enlistments when I graduated from high school and in the Air Force, so I enlisted in the Army National Guard for the GI Bill. However, since I had been in Air Force Junior ROTC, the Army was a little intimidating for me. I was barely 100 pounds, 17-year-old, and I was concerned about making it through basic training. Until one of my best friends from junior high school, Hafiza, who's here today, she was old enough to do the split option, so she went to basic training after her junior year. And she was weaker than me, so I figured if she could make it through, I could. And she did. So thank you for giving me the confidence I needed at the time. I attended 2 or 3 Army National Guard drills before being shipped off to basic training. And there was an NCO, Sergeant E5 Kenny Brown, who took the time to teach me how to do push-ups correctly, how to shine my then black boots, and all the basics you needed to get through basic training. He really impacted my initial years in the military. He showed me how to be a soldier. He motivated me at a very young age. He was my introduction to the NCO Corps. I have respected the NCO Corps ever since, the backbone of our great Army. Sergeant Brown is now a CW5 in the Arkansas Army National Guard, and I have appreciated his friendship and counsel over the years. I've been blessed to have many people teach, coach, and mentor me throughout my career. I went to the University of Central Arkansas, became a US citizen in April 1989. I joined ROTC, graduated, went to flight school. Of note, shortly after I graduated from flight school, I was talking to my dad, and he said, okay, so when are you going to law school? Medical school, pharmacy school, and this is not uncommon coming from a Nigerian father. This is the family I grew up in, and the high expectations that came with it. It was expected that you took education seriously, that you worked hard, and took advantage of every opportunity. I owe this day to so many people, and want to say thank you. Thank you to those who invested in me, thank you to those who practiced patience with me, and thank you for those who held me accountable. I have been blessed to always be surrounded by talented people, and have met many great people along my journey. They have shaped who I am today and significantly impacted the trajectory of my life. I recognize the gravity of this moment. I recognize the responsibility, the expectations, as well as the scrutiny that comes with this promotion. I also recognize the power of representation and the importance of diverse teams. In fact, earlier this month, we celebrated the 25th anniversary of the Military Women's Memorial in DC that sits at the entrance of the Arlington National Cemetery. During the event marking the anniversary, Secretary Austin encouraged everyone to be inspired by the women whose stories the memorial honors and to write new chapters in American history. I am privileged to have benefited from trailblazers that paved the way for me, and I am committed to doing my part to leave a better path for those coming behind me, and maybe inspire some along the way. I have a picture hanging in my office that was signed by 12 Tuskegee Airmen I met about 25 years ago. It's one of my most treasured possessions. These are the trailblazers that inspired me. A few years ago, a woman I admire told me, "What got you here was your experience, your competence, and hard work. But in order to get to the next level, someone has to pull you up." So I appreciate everyone who has invested in me and pulled me up, and the Army leadership who has shown confidence in my potential. I am committed to paying it forward and helping to pull others up. I'm honored to be selected to serve at this level, and I feel fortunate to be serving in my current position at Cadet Command, because I really believe I can contribute here in a meaningful way. I expected to be retired by now. I look at this as extra innings, the bonus round. I'm still honored to serve. And I will leave you with this. When former Secretary Madeleine Albright passed away earlier this year, a former president tweeted a statement I identified with. And although we did not travel identical paths, the sentiment is the same. He relayed one of his favorite stories about her. Quote, "At a naturalization ceremony, an Ethiopian man came up to Secretary Albright and said, 'Only in America could a refugee from Africa meet the Secretary of State.' And Secretary Albright replied, 'Only in America could a refugee from Central Europe become Secretary of State.' I joined the US military before I was even a US citizen, but I always knew this country was great, that it was worth fighting for, and that it is truly the land of opportunity. I am very proud of my heritage, my ethnic roots, but I am equally as proud to be an American. And to serve in the world's best army. Again, thank you for coming. Leadership excellence, people first, winning matters. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the playing of the Army Song. Words to the Army Song are printed on the back page of your program.